Hello again, it is SharpShot21, and today we are going to try to get the overdrive section reassembled, less putting it in the case. I still want to get the cases sprayed off and degunked as much as possible. I'm probably going to do that this week in the next couple days, and then we'll get everything back in the case. But I want to start getting the planets and the shafts put back together, especially now that I have the last few parts that need to go in. Those arrived yesterday, or 2 days ago. I'm still waiting on the torque converter. Hopefully I'll have that here in the next day or so. But if we can get everything put in and then do the valve body work in the next handful of days, that would be phenomenal. And then next week I can rip this thing out and put it back in. I won't show that process because I don't have the lift, and I'm going to be doing it all on my back on a creeper, and I'm really not looking forward to it, but we'll make it happen. One thing, I will probably overlay this, but this is from the ATSM or ATSG manual. Now, we have a later version overdrive. This is the overdrive clutch arrangement down at the bottom here. So this is the early versions. We don't have that. This is the later versions. We don't have that. Or we have that. This one is for A518 transmissions. We don't have a 518. I believe that's a 44 RE. And this is for the A518 or with diesels or A618s. Now, so far as I can tell, it's all the same clutch packs. It's all the same everything. Now, the one thing that's different with the number 4s versus the number 1s and the number 2s, number 1 uses a slightly thicker than 3/8 of an inch pressure plate. The number 4s don't use a pressure plate, they use a steel. So far as I can tell, there is nothing different. Now, I know there are guys that do build these transmissions sturdier with more clutches and more steels. This is the only place I can find that happening. So, I'm going to try this and see if it works. I'm going to look at it all when it's all together and see if it looks right. And then if it looks right, then I plan to put it in that way. If it doesn't look right, we'll go back down to the 2 steels and 3 clutches and that pressure plate that it came with. But I don't see why this won't work. If someone does see why this won't work, you know, it's going to be too late to tell me by the time this goes up. But so far as I can tell, it should work. I will save all the parts that I don't put in a bag and a box and label them so that if this transmission does develop issues, I can drop the overdrive section, because it's really easy to drop the overdrive section. I got to pull off the torque converter, or the transfer case. I got to undo the bolts. I may have to drop the pan and the valve body so I can get the park rod out. But then I can, pull the whole assembly off the back without pulling the whole transmission. That's the nice thing about these. You can do an overdrive rebuild in fairly short order on it. It'll probably take 2 days. A day to drop it, rebuild it, and a day to stuff it back in. But, yeah, that's my plan. So let me get some space on the bench here and we'll start putting the overdrive section, the grenade bit, as I've dubbed it, back together. You see me take it apart on the press. There's one specialty tool we need. Dope. And that is this. This is this tail section of this. This is the intermediate shaft. This is just the tail section of one. In fact, I think this one's out of a 44 or a 46, because it is quite a bit beefier, but you can see it was a tail section. This slots into everything in that overdrive spring basket and helps keep it aligned as you compress everything. Because you've got two sets of splines in there you need to have aligned, otherwise good luck getting it back together when you try to put, the actual intermediate shaft in. We will also be doing some mods to the intermediate shaft. We'll cover that before we put that one back together. So we'll be on the bench here in a minute. All right, so reassembly of this whole mess here. I'll wipe out. All right, I've got two wires that hold this basket on. And I need that pack. All right. So the trick is getting this in, because this likes to sit down. Okay. All right, basket's on. Now, I think I have some transmission assembly lube somewhere. Let me check. Okay, I don't have any transmission assembly lube. Must have left that in Vermont. So we are filling up an oil bottle here. Transmission assembly is Jesus. all right. Okay. Got that spragging back in there. this goes in. Okay, and then we need the tool. All right, well, now we've got the stack up here. The one trick putting these in, especially on this stage of the stack up, is aligning the tabs on the steels. The clutches are going to self-align on the splines. However, the steels will not, and they need to be aligned with the outer drum. All right, this, what do we call this? Reaction plate. Oh, this might be the pressure plate. This uppermost one has a retention lip. That needs to go up, and it goes out. That lip is important because that is where the snap ring goes. Well, one of the two snap rings, because as we know, that's not the snap ring. There's an outer snap ring that goes there. And there's an inner wire snap ring that goes on the inside. So we have to get this up on the press. We'll press it back together. I probably won't record that because it's going to take a lot of finicky fidgeting. So we'll do that off camera and then I'll come back. All right, everything is all set. I'm ready to go on this. That moves up and down as it should. This I believe that bushing will go there. We can pop the rear bearing on. Just like that. I believe that's how that lives, with that ring toward the back, because that locks into the snap ring that goes in the case, which might still be in the case. No, I pulled it from the case. I had it somewhere. Give me a second. I'll find it. Here it is. So this snaps into there. That doesn't go there either. Okay. Not sure where this guy goes, but it doesn't go in there. Because there's already one in there. I'll review the tapes. May go in one of these. Because that's all together as it should be. I need to check a couple measurements here. $376. So this was the pressure plate. Reaction plate, 216, 215. So just to show the stack up here, this goes in. And that one, this one, steel, clutch, steel, last clutch, reused steel as a pressure plate. This is flat and wavies. Go underneath the whole arrangement. This wire goes on the outside. So that is all back together. So that's the stack up. I think I did forget a bushing the bearing though. I think that bearing goes in. All right, take it all apart. All right, let's fix that oopsie. Bearing was reinstalled where it should have been. That was my bad. I forgot that bearing. The rear bearing is on. Now I'm going to stack up the washers and everything as they should be. It goes flat. And then wavy. Those are going to go on there. I'm going to leave the clutches until I can put it in the housing. Not sure where that snap ring came from. Sure, it's right. I'm going to grab the stand. And we're going to set the whole thing in it. That's not good. I am not. I think that's where that snap ring went. Okay, back apart again. Okay, got that snap ring that I was like, where's the snap ring go? It goes under here. Installed. So that's done. We're going to slip that on, that in. Okay, that's back on, as it should be. I will store that up where it should be, off to the side. All right. Alrighty. That's done. Okay. We're going to put this clutch basket together, or this. Now I've got new washers for these somewhere. Let me find those. Okay, I do have new snap rings as well for the overdrive section. You always replace those. Two new washers here. It's going to live there. We have a second one, again, hooped as well. Okay, that's done. All right, this washer goes in. Selectives. All right, snap rings on. So that's all reassembled. There's two more washers that go on the end here. Second one. Okay, that's good to go. Okay, so that's how that goes. Okay, so that's there. And that's there. I got new washers for this one. And that one. Okay, so that's all ready to go. But I have some modifications to that to make. We'll do that probably tomorrow. Yes. Okay. Let's take a look at this clutch basket here. Just making sure I'm getting the right clutches and the right baskets here. feel like I'm too thick by 2 clutches. But I feel like that had more when it came apart. So let me see what I've got in there. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I've got 4 on this set of clutches. Alright. Looking at my original it's going to need some compression before that will go in.
I feel like that's missing a clutch.
And this is why I saved them all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 clutches. And those. That's one. No, those are overdrive section clutches. Yes, those are overdrive clutches. Oh, they're in the bin there. Yes, 4 clutches. Okay, then that's correct. I think. I'll have to go check the manual here. That looks right. Okay, those are the new selectives.
going to assemble this and then check it. If I got to undo it, then I'm going to undo it. But it seems weird to run a steel on the back.
All right.
Okay, that works. Okay, all the clutch baskets are done. can start on the reassemblies. Alright, all the clutches are reassembled as best as I can tell, other than that second gear clutch, or the reverse drive. I forget which one that one is. I think that might be the reverse. I'll double check that one. I might need to make a tool to put that one back together. And by tool, I mean go grab 3 C-clamps from Harbor Freight and clamp it down while I shove that snap ring in place. This shaft, we're going to degrease. And then I've got this Transgo shift kit. Now, this is the shift kit Junior. I've installed one of these before. I didn't go this far into it. But one of the steps that it calls out that you can do is gas only, not diesel, so we're gas, is to take this and we enlarge A. So we have an A to 2,000, or to 200 thousandths. Now we have, this one has a C hole in it, but it doesn't have a D hole. So C somewhere between drill them out to 187 to 200 thousandths on 4 different spots. So here, 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 and around the back, and then do the same for D. And then we'll have to flush this out, because there's going to be chips in there. So we're going to do that. So we will do that before we can reassemble the intermediate shaft piece, because this needs to be done, because this whole assembly goes into here and it's trapped in the middle of the transmission. So that needs to be done. That's what we'll do next. Then we'll start replacing seals on everything with seals. So that'll be tomorrow's project, hopefully. All right. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Sharps out.